To give us more on the MEC's disclosure in as far as this story is concerned, I'm joined by the DA's Jack Bloom. Jack, good morning to you. So 21 patients still unaccounted for, and they went missing. You'll tell us when. Has this been confirmed, first and foremost, by the MEC of Health in Gauteng, Gwen Ramokgopa?
Well, this is the update. I asked a question of the Gauteng legislature yesterday, and she said there are 21 people still missing. I'm a bit concerned because in July we were told there were 20 people still missing. But I think there's very poor record keeping by the department. And frankly, this is more than 2 years after they went missing. I really think that we could have done a lot more to find them. Many of them may well be dead. Some of them may be suffering. We just don't know anything. And more than 2 years after this whole terrible tragedy, to still say that the 21 people, we don't know what's happened to them, I think is appalling.
When exactly did these patients go missing, Jack? And what is the MEC saying about progress in trying to locate them?
Well, these are all patients who got lost when the contract with Life Esidimeni was terminated, and it's for the period November 2015 to October 2016. So it's all patients who were discharged from Life Esidimeni during that close to a 1-year period. And frankly, they just don't know what's happened to them. A small number was supposed to go to NGOs, to hospitals. One was supposed to go to a family. They don't even know what's happened to the others. Now, I think, unfortunately, we have to suspect the worst at this stage, because I don't know how people who needed intensive treatment could have survived for more than 2 years.
Jack, is the department in contact with the families of these missing patients, and have the families themselves come forward?
Well, this is where we don't have enough information. The department has not been good at providing information. I think, sadly, many of the missing people may have no living relative at all. So nobody's there to care if they're missing or not. I mean, this is the tragedy of Esidimeni. It was the most vulnerable patients, and they just went missing. But I'm glad that the MEC has involved the Special Investigating Unit, because I suspect that some of these so-called missing patients were actually died at one of these NGOs and were secretly buried. I think that's what could have happened. They obviously covered up the death because it just makes things even worse for these NGOs. So I think we have to I think concede that might have happened, and if it has, I think we need to have accountability for that.
Jack, the MEC is now reported to have put out this public call for assistance and helping the police in trying to find the patients. Question is, how well publicized is this call? Or is the MEC conveniently making this call now that she was forced to answer your question in the legislature about these patients who are still outstanding?
Well, the MEC claimed yesterday that there was, quote, no delay in finding these patients. And I thought, well, I think the department's been very slack in this whole matter. That's why I laid charges with the police, missing persons charges, earlier this year. And the department is only coming forward now and saying, please help us find them. I think the department must give us all the names of people who are missing. And sadly, there's 3 of these missing patients that don't even have a full name. 7 of them don't have ID documents. They don't even have an identification number, and some of them don't even have photographs. I think what the department has to do now is give us the names, if there's any photographs, any other details, and let the public assist. But this should have been done long ago. We shouldn't have to wait till I asked a question in the legislature and suddenly the MEC is calling for the public to assist.
Yeah, but because my major concern is whether or not the public is aware at all that there are these patients who are still unaccounted for. Thank you very much, Jack Bloom, for your time. He is a member of the DA, and of course, he is also in the provincial legislature here.